Hello everyone and welcome back to My Opinion. In India have won the Border-Gavaskar Trophy by 2 games to 1 and have won it for the fourth consecutive time. The outcome of the first test between New Zealand and Sri Lanka, a thrilling game which went down to the last ball, means that India will be playing in the World Test Championship final against Australia in early June. A deserved fixture for both the sides in question. Now, of course, India deserve credit for winning this series, another home series win in the bag, and I reiterate that I think this is also the best touring side in the world. But I think Australia deserve credit for the way they've bounced back in these last 2 games. When I was reviewing the second test of the series, I'd said that overall in the first 2 days of that game, I thought Australia did play the better cricket, but a bad half a day on that third the day of the game meant that it derailed how that game was going for them up till that point. And for a touring side looking to compete in a test series in India, even if you win one game or go out of a game with a spirited draw, you've done well for yourself. And from that point, they've won the third test match convincingly, and neither side was going to win this game with the way it played out. So I think in the last 3 of the 4 test matches, Australia have given them a good account of themselves, and they should be happy with what they've done despite the fact that they couldn't win the series in the end. And some milestone contributions in this game: 2 centuries in the first innings, one for Usman Khawaja, another for Cameron Green, 180 and 114 respectively. There's been a well-documented stigma regarding how Usman Khawaja fares against spin, and he really has pushed back against that, more than pushed back against that in this series. The 81 that he scored in the second test match for Australia, and the 100 that he scored here as well. So I think it's actually a record in terms of the minutes that he's played in this innings. I don't know the exact record. I think it's the longest innings played by an Australian batsman in India against India. I think it's something like that, but it is a record of some sort. So he's been in great form, whether playing in Australia and in India now as well, and he's finally got an opportunity to play a test series in India. He's been part of the squad I think stretching over 8 years, and I think in the last 2 Border-Gavaskar Trophy series played in India, he unfortunately couldn't get a game. So he's got an opportunity now, and he's made full use of that opportunity. So really good on him. There was an injury cloud on Cameron Green going into this series, and also for the IPO as well. And he scored a brilliant century in this game and has bowled some overs as well. So I think it bodes well for how we will go in the future. And certainly Mumbai Indians will be happy that they can expect more of an involvement from him in this IPO season that starts in 15 days. And I thought the partnership between them, that 208-run partnership, was the backbone for Australia to get to that 480 that they got to. India had them 170 for 4 on a batting-friendly surface, and you thought India would have been feeling more confident at that stage. That double-century partnership put Australia back on track to achieving a mammoth total. And I thought 2 very handy innings played by Nathan Lyon and Todd Murphy got Australia up to that 480 score. So overall, a very good first innings total from Australia. And I think the spinners of both sides, if you look at a few bowlers in their quarter of innings, or the quarter of overs in each innings, they've gone up less than 2 and over throughout their quarter, which is just superb. Yes, it was a batting-friendly surface with a minimal amount of turn, but they still made it difficult for the batsmen to score those runs. The paces went at 4 and over from both sides, especially in that first innings. But the star of the first innings for India with the ball, Ravichandran Ashwin, 6 for 91 and 47.2 overs. His 32nd 5-wicket haul and level with Jimmy Anderson now, and is the number 1 ranked bowler in the ICC rankings for Test cricket. So I think we knew that him and Ravindra Jadeja would have a great impact on the series, and they've both got a joint Man of the Series award. But especially with how the surface played out throughout the game, and especially in the first 2 days, I thought 6 for 91 at that economy rate was superb from Ashwin. And on how the surface played out, I actually thought that So of course I wanted a surface that was like the Ahmedabad game from 2 years ago, where the game ended inside 2 days against England. When I saw the first 2 days, I thought that we'd be getting a surface like the first test of that series in Chennai, where the ball started turning a lot from day 3 onwards. So I thought, how would India fare? In reality, there was no real deterioration, and India, having said that, responded brilliantly to the challenge. However the surface would be, I thought that we haven't seen this lineup as a collective post these totals on the board, but on this occasion they responded brilliantly to the challenge. 100 for Shubman Gill, 128 of 235, and has been in great form in all formats of the game. And Virat Kohli, I mean, I've not said this in this video so far, but I'll say this now. Finally, the wait is over. Number 75 and his 28th Test match century. And look, I think when I've criticized him, I haven't enjoyed it, but I think when he does play well, it's really is especially on some occasions, a very respected innings, a respectable innings. I thought that when you see innings like this, you see the innings like the 82 against Pakistan, and even more than, yes, those two were brilliant innings as well, but I thought that after that 6-week break leading into the Asia Cup, and we completely didn't know what to expect, and he plays that 60 or 43 or 44, I think, against Pakistan, where he exhausted all the fundamentals that he had at that point in time to play that innings and get India to 181. Especially that innings, I think it really is a respected innings. I still do respect it now. Once again, a mammoth effort from him in this innings, and he deserved this knock, I thought, with how he applied himself in the previous innings that he played in the series. Got starts in every game. He was dismissed early for 44, incorrectly for 44. Maybe he could have got a half century in that innings as well. So overall, he's gone way better than I thought he would go in the series. He's the second highest run scorer in the series now in this innings, meaning he averages 49.5, I think, in the series. And so, yeah, I think it's a mammoth effort by him, and yeah, really well done. I think when he plays well, you have to say what it is. And I think India needed someone to score big, and him and Shubman Gill and Akshar Patel as well were the backbone of this innings. And on Akshar Patel, the third 50-plus score, the third 70-plus score actually for him in this series. He's not played too much of a part with the ball because he hasn't had to. He's been underbowled when you've got spinners like Ashwin and Jadeja as well, and with how they've gone in this series, you'd think that Akshar Patel also could have been a threatening option in this series, but he was underbowled compared to those two. With the bat, he's been fantastic and has played vital knocks. So his batting has really come to the fore in T20s that we've seen, and also in Test match cricket now as well. And yeah, I think he really has been fantastic in the series. And for Australia, I think their spinners have given a good account of themselves in the series. I think this is the most amount of overs that Nathan Lyon has bowled in an innings in his career. 65 overs, 3 for 151. They didn't make it easy for India. The spinners, I thought the Pacers went to at least 4 and over, and Cameron Green went to 5 and over for 18 overs. But yeah, I thought the spinners did do their bit to make life as difficult for India as possible. But a mammoth total was achieved by India in their first innings. And after that, it was a formality, and 90 for Travis Head in the first innings. Unfortunately, an injury for Usman Khawaja when he was fielding meant that Matthew Kuhneman had to open the batting in the second innings. But in the end, no harm was really done in terms of the outcome of the game. 175 for 2, and the game was a draw. So, yes, there wasn't kind of a victory for either side in this game, but I still thought it was a good game to watch. A different kind of surface from what we've seen in the first 3 games. And I think both sides, yes, Australia would have thought, they would have been going to this game thinking that they could win it, and they got 480 runs on the board, but neither side played badly in this game. And yeah, I think that this has been a very good series to watch, and both these sides deservedly are in the World Test Championship final. And already in terms of who India could select for that final, There are a few names in question, a few injury clouds with the seamers. Bumrah, of course, I don't think he will play that or even the 2023 World Cup either. Prasidh Krishna, I think, is a huge blow. I think if you wanted someone to replace Ishant Sharma, you've got a perfect replacement in Prasidh Krishna. Unfortunately, not only the fact that he is injured, but Bumrah is injured as well, and you'd think that would be for quite some time. So that certainly is a blow. Shreyas Iyer has picked up a back injury in this latest game, and there's rumours that he could miss at least half of the IPL, if not the entirety of the season, which is a huge blow. So you've got some players that probably may not be available, but I think it does give the opportunity to pick someone like a Mayank Agarwal, like an Ajinkya Rahane, like I've said. And I actually think both those two will be better options than Shreyas Iyer in overseas conditions. No, Prasidh Krishna is a huge blow. I thought he would have been a mainstay in the test team by now. Unfortunately, injuries haven't been kind to him. But India still have got some other options: Shardul Thakur, Mohammad Siraj, Mohammad Shami, and so on. So I think, they've got the options to put a very good 11 out there. But I think with certain players being in the side, it would bolster that 11 even more. And let's wait for that series, well, that final, of course, and I'll give my kind of more specific views leading up into that game. Who knows, maybe the injury situation may get better or worse with certain players, and I hope it does get better. The ODI series starts tomorrow between India and Australia, and Hardik Pandya will be captaining the ODI side for the first time. And let's see how that goes. And just before I end off this video, I think someone who's actually in the ODI squad, surprisingly, but I actually think he could even play in that Water Championship final, I think could be Jaydev Unadkat. I talked about the way he goes about things in T20 since 2017. I don't understand it, but you don't have that problem in first-class cricket. He's deserved his selection. I think a left-arm swing bowler in England, if he bowls in the 140s, which he can do, then I think that you wouldn't mind playing him either. So that's on that. So India do still have the options, and I don't know if they're going to pick Ajinkya Rahane. I don't know if they're going to pick Mayank Agarwal. They're probably not, but I don't get why those two haven't been included, especially the latter, who's averaged 82, like I said, in the domestic season. But it is what it is. The ODI start tomorrow, so let's see how they go. If you enjoy this video, please like and subscribe. Be share with your friends. Remember, this is my opinion. What's yours?